Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Very Cold Lasagna podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Lasagna, and this is not an episode. This is actually a little bit of an extra Very Cold Lasagna to both the video and the audio listeners out there. This is not a full-on episode, and I don't even know if I could call it a shorty because my ass tends to ramble a lot. But anyway, I haven't actually talked about this particular thing in a while. It's actually some pro wrestling. I haven't talked about some pro wrestling in quite a while since SummerSlam, I believe. I always talk about it on Twitter though. Me and my dumbass shadow ban tweets. But anyway, the specific topic at hand that I do want to get into on this extra Very Cold Lasagna is the return of Miss Watch Me, Liv Morgan, one of the very few favorite wrestlers that I have in this. I don't even know what you want to call this era of pro wrestling, WWE, you name it. It's just such an uninteresting era. Yet they still have at least a very few select favorites in this deserted era. But anyway, yeah. So it's been about a week since Miss Watch Me Liv Morgan has come back from her. How long has it been? Like 6 months. 6 months since she got injured. So in case you have forgotten or have lived under a rock like myself, she got injured in a freak accident in a match with Kairi Sane back in mid-June, where she just basically fell on her shoulder, in a total freak accident. She injured her shoulder, dislocated her shoulder, and required surgery. And it pretty much put a halt to the Judgment Day storyline, which I'll get into in a bit, because let's talk about what happened exactly a week ago at Survivor Series. So John Cena, the then Intercontinental Champion, by the way, I can't believe we're already one date from the one date from his final match, 1 week away, exactly 1 week away from that. But that's not the topic of this video. Sorry, Mr. Cena. John Cena made his first and only title defense with the Intercontinental Championship. Mr. Grand Slam John Cena took on Dirty Daddy Dominik Mysterio in Dominik's hometown of San Diego. There were shenanigans all abound. Dominik faked a shoulder injury, hit a 619. He even had the rest of the Judgment Day involved, pretty much almost all of the Judgment Day involved, which pretty much failed. Raquel and Roxanne even got involved. Many people were questioning about that because of cuckery. I don't have really much comment about that, to be honest with you. I just don't really tend to care about that anyway. Then you also had Finn Balor and JD McDonald getting involved, and then they failed also. And then, of course, this would pretty much set up the return of Liv Morgan. I was kind of 50-50 on whether or not she would return here, and then she did return, which was good news. Because had she not returned here, then of course we'd have to wait. If we were going to recreate a situation where it was 2024 pre-WrestleMania all over again, where we'd have to wait till the Royal Rumble, she would get this. Oh, Mr. King of Pop's triple fraud. We'll bring her back out. Even in Saudi Arabia. Oh, she's gonna get the return pop only for her to get eliminated, and then she would have to wait forever and ever to finally get a Rumble win. But anyway, she at least comes back here, helps Dominik, or seemingly thinks that she's gonna betray Dominik first. But then she pulls the Cena heel turn from the Elimination Chamber, and according to Cena, it was better than his own heel turn. She pulls she pulls a Cena on Cody. Just on Cena, and he does that on Cena and helps Daddy Dom regain the Intercontinental title. So that happened, and I really liked the match. That's probably the only thing I was watching for Survivor Series for, not just for Cena, Dominik, of course also Liv. So it was a pretty good match all around. Now, going into Monday, I was thinking, what's next for Liv? What's next for Dom? Obviously, Liv Dom's pretty much the one of the very few hot things going on in WWE right now. They're like this big, and they're probably one of the big. I don't know. Is mainstream a reach? in this day and age of WWE. But I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But hey, when it comes to Liv and Dom, they're doing really well for themselves as a duo and as singles competitors. Because when you look at Dominik, since Liv got injured, he's been running well with the Intercontinental title, at least until he lost it to Cena before getting it back. And he's pretty much the face of AAA. In case you don't know what AAA is, it's basically the Mexican. It's like a Mexican indie Mexican, like one of the biggest Mexican wrestling promotions, if not the biggest, outside the United States. So, I mean, I'm just a filthy casual saying that. But anyway, going back to Liv Morgan, I know I'm rambling a lot here, like I always do. Going back to Liv Morgan, yeah, her presence has been significantly felt in the Raw Women's division. No, just not the Raw Women's division, just the Women's division in general, because since she got hurt, you had to even when I wasn't watching and just scrolling through the highlights on Twitter and Instagram, you could clearly see how significantly impacted the storylines were around both the Women's division and the Judgment Day. Like, they pretty much had to start and stop that Judgment Day storyline. For example, you had Finn Balor putting a mural for Liv, and then you had Roxanne trying to make her move on Dominik, but there were many fans that were resisting that. They were completely against that. I don't know. I wasn't really like paying too much attention to fully be on the fence against that, but I guess I could see why. So yeah, there was that, and then I guess pretty much why they completely stalled on that, because I guess they didn't really know when Liv was going to be back. So it was up until September where they were just like, oh, okay, we'll just put a complete pause on it for right now. So yeah. And then also on the women's side of things, they had to completely reshuffle Evolution, that all women's pay-per-view that Liv was also supposed to be a part of. Whether it was a singles match with Nikki Bella, I remember that happening. Yeah, she was supposed to be a part of that until she got hurt. I don't know if that was supposed to lead to a singles match or a tag team match with Brie Bella, where they're going to defend the tag team titles. And then it was also unfortunate that Liv also got hurt during the time that SummerSlam was going to be in Jersey, in her home state. That was a double bummer. So yeah, a lot of shuffling had to go around. I'm not sure if she was going to have a women's world title match at some point too, because she also has some beef with Io Sky. But yeah, there's a lot of things that happened when Liv went down. But now that she's back, things are picking up again. And if you made it to this point in the video, I'm glad you have. Because yeah, so Liv is clearly back. And as we saw this past Monday on Raw, there were some really interesting developments, both for good and for odd. I wouldn't necessarily say bad or doom, because it's just 1 week that she just got back. Let me just start with the Judgment Day stuff just to get it out of the way. Because yeah, it's just, there's pretty much a lot of non-answers with the Judgment Day stuff. She's just saying, "Oh, welcome back to Monday Night Morgan." Yeah, her usual shtick is back with Monday Night Morgan, and yeah, she's basically saying that, "Oh, we're here, we're back. I want to claim all the gold." And then she is saying that we heard all the rumors, we heard all the she's hearing all the speculation that the Judgment Day is weak, the Judgment Day sucks, and all that. And then she wanted to change that narrative. And then before the segment ended, pretty much, she slapped Dominik. And I was like, oh, that was kind of weird. That was pretty weird, if you ask me. Now there was a video on Twitter, like hours before Raw, or the day before Raw, that she was slapping Dominik, but I don't know if that was like a thing, I don't know if that's like a new thing or something, or just like caught on camera by accident. But then they played it. I don't know if the thing that they did on Raw was them playing into that thing that went viral, or that's just like some new kink. And if it is a new kink, then I honestly don't like it, to be honest with you. And then some some Liv Domers out there on social media. They're saying, "Oh, it's referencing to like some obscure movie I've not really seen before." And if you have seen it before, then I'm sorry, I can't really help you here. Mickey and Mallory, or Bonnie or Clyde, or whatever it's called. The other movie that some other people have referenced. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. I can't even help myself with what they're referencing to. So either way, the slapping thing, I just hope this is just for this Raw, because if it's gonna be a weekly thing, then it's gonna lead to trouble. It's gonna lead to trouble in regards to whatever triple fraud is gonna cook up for them. And honestly, if it keeps going, then I feel like it's gonna lead to things for the wrong way. If it's gonna if it's gonna continue, like triple fraud's gonna be like, oh yeah, keep slapping him. That means Dominik's gonna break away from Liv. He wants to break up with her. And then that means Liv is gonna he's gonna betray him. More friendship is betrayal. Like, and then Liv's gonna reveal like, oh, I was just using you. I'm just like slapping you. Yeah, so more friendship is betrayal. Bullshit. But yeah, like really, this is the route we're gonna go on, especially given the fact that does triple fraud really even know that Liv and Dom are like one of, if not the very few mainstream, again, going back to the point I'm making, mainstream acts that they have right now. Like, they're all over advertisements, like the all caps lids thing that they're doing with Stephen A. Smith, going on various podcasts, like media outlets. Now they were on like a full on like media cycle during WrestleMania season, and right now actually, mainly Dominik though. So yeah, they're doing a whole bunch of things and representing WWE, and Triple Fraud really wants to break that up. I feel like there's so much untapped potential left between those two, and I'm not saying I'm fear mongering right now. I'm just saying, for a kayfabe couple, for a kayfabe duo like that has so much chemistry for Liv and Dom, does Triple Fraud really want to break that up? And I know there's also some people out there that are fearing this Dom Rocks thing, this Rocks Dom thing, whatever it is. I also checked on that too, and it just came off so forced. It kind of reminded me of, back in 2003 and 2004 when Christian and Chris Jericho were having their storyline with Trish Stratus. After Chris Jericho and Chris Jericho got betrayed by Trish Stratus at WrestleMania 20 for Christian, I don't remember any bit of Christian and Trish Stratus and their relationship. Like, I don't remember any of that. And if Triple Fraud goes the Rocks Dom Rocks, whatever you want to call that, I feel like that's gonna be like the same short-term-ish thing. It's not gonna be a short-term thing. Like, does Triple Fraud really want to sacrifice what he has with this thing? I'd rather, if he wants to end this Liv Dom thing, I'd probably give it one more year on a mutual ending. That's it. Maybe Liv and Dom have a creative say in it and how it wants to end, but I think TKO better step in. TKO better step in on how this story ends, and how the story continues. But yeah, I just hope it continues because I'm a fan of what Liv and Dom are doing, both collectively and singles, but at least prior to the injury. And it's too early to say how it is currently, because I just don't like the slapping right now. But in regards to the other stuff that happened on Raw on the first Raw with Liv back, apparently Liv is teasing a return to the Women's World Title scene. I'm not sure if that's right away with Stephanie Bakir. Some people point to the first Raw on Netflix. Not the first Raw, the first anniversary of the Raw on Netflix next month. And I'm just hoping, maybe something further down the line, maybe WrestleMania. I think it's high time, like as we enter Royal Rumble season, maybe it's high time we get to, hashtag lit for the Rumble season. Finally, like Triple Fraud, maybe finally awakens and gives her that long overdue Royal Rumble win and give her a little bit of roadblocks. No pun intended with the game. Roadblocks with the rest of the Judgment Day. Finally have her break her and Dom up from the rest of the Judgment Day. Have her go toe to toe at Elimination Chamber before she goes faces Stephanie Valkyrie at WrestleMania. I don't know. Or maybe they hold off the Judgment Day stuff till post WrestleMania after Liv wins the Women's World Championship. But I don't know. But maybe they either do it on the first Raw first anniversary of Raw on Netflix, but I prefer they do that match at WrestleMania because I really don't want to see another I respect you, I love you, I want to fuck you dream match for the Women's World Title at WrestleMania. But that's what Triple Fraud's gonna likely do with Stephanie Valkyrie and either Becky Lynch or Rhea Ripley. Yeah. Who wants to we're gonna see another respect off match for 3 years, 3 years straight, mind you, 3 years straight at WrestleMania. And then Liv Morgan actually ended the show with standing tall with the rest of the Judgment Day, Raquel and Roxanne, seemingly all nicey towards Roxanne after she was was knowing of Roxanne's little things going on when she came back. What was it, last May when she was off filming, and then she came back trying to make moves on Daddy Dom. So who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe she's making some power play moves behind their backs, or she knows what's going on with Roxanne and Raquel. Because keep in mind that Raquel was a little iffy. She was a little distrusting at first with Roxanne, but all of a sudden became buddy with Roxanne. She's like, okay, we lost the tag team titles, but I'll still be your gal pal for just even if it's still on the rocks. But now that Liv Morgan's back, it'll be interesting. It'll be a little interesting to see where all these moving parts go. Obviously, Liv being the somewhat leader of the Judgment Day, being the mouth of the Jersey South, the Jersey East, I guess you could say. I don't know. I can't think of a nickname for her. But yeah, the mouth of the loud mouth of the Judgment Day. Yeah, we'll see where it goes in the next month, because for all the people that are kind of panicking about certain aspects of her return, like the slapping. I didn't like that either. Is this gonna lead to a turn on Dominik or like something else? I don't know. We'll see. I just hope it doesn't lead to a turn on Dominik either. Maybe it was just a power play. Maybe it's just a power play to show dominance or towards the rest of the group, and maybe Dominik was in on it too. But we'll see. And then in terms of the rest of the group, Roxanne and Raquel were going for the tag titles, even though they made their intentions felt towards going towards singles goal as well. Roxanne, the women's Intercontinental title. I still don't know why that's a thing, by the way. And then Raquel was clearly going for the women's world title, and she was entitled to getting a shot before Liv interjected herself. So that might cause some problems too. I just hope that Triple Fraud writes this story correctly, which I don't trust that he will write the story correctly. But he has a month. He has a month and change to write the story properly. And I could see it as a situation where if he does write the story correctly, it might end up as a story where, Liv is back and she has something up her sleeve alongside Dominik. And it might end up as a kind of similar story where Randy Orton came back to return to the Authority, like when he returned from injury and came back to the Authority, came back to the Authority for a couple weeks, and then made his move to turn on Seth Rollins and leave the Authority before WrestleMania 31. To set up their match. So maybe Liv is making that kind of move because of all the bullshit that had been happening during her time away, with all the rest of the Judgment Days, what they're trying to do to Dominik. So, yeah, maybe that's how I'm seeing things at the moment. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, that's probably the only thing that's kind of keeping me intrigued in regards to wrestling. But I mean, oh yeah, other than John Cena's last match next week. I can't believe we're already towards the end of John Cena's farewell dud tour. That's unfortunate, but I might do a review of it. John Cena's final match with either Gunther or LA Knight. Might talk a little bit more about wrestling, especially now that the 49ers on a bye week this week. But we'll see. We'll see if I have any interest in doing so. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on Liv Morgan's return from injury last week at Survivor Series, and yeah, the follow up from that return this past week on Raw. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're listening to this on audio, send me a DM on my socials at Very Cold Lasagna. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, let's have a conversation about it. Again, I know I'm out of date on this topic, but hey, better late than never, as they love to say. But yeah, hope to talk a little bit more about this modern day product. But during this season, football always comes first. So anyway, that's it for this little extra Very Cold Lasagna. I've been your host, Dylan Lasagna. Thank you for tuning in. Follow me on social media at Very Cold Lasagna, and hit that subscribe button if you're listening to this on YouTube, and follow the show on whatever audio platform you're listening to, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And yeah, start the conversation about whether or not you liked Liv Morgan's return and how Triple Fraud followed up on it. But until then, until the next full podcast, extra Very Cold Lasagna, whatnot, until that time comes to me uploading some kind of thing. Peace out.